health and peace and happiness for everyone. Ashreinu, how good and beautiful is our heritage. Parashat Pinchas Tafshin Peibet. What do Parshiot Balak and Pinchas tell us? What do they only hint to, and why? At the end of Parashat Balak, we read about the sin of Bnei Israel with the daughters of Midian and Moab, and the Torah says that the sinners were Yisrael, Ha'am, the people, Bnei Israel, never pointing to anyone specific. And 24,000 people from Bnei Israel were killed in the plague because of that sin. In the beginning of Parashat Pinchas, we learn that the leader of the sin was Zimri ben Salu, the president of Shevet Shimon. We continue to read in Parashat Pinchas, and the Torah once again counts the numbers of the men in each tribe, and we learn that the Shevet of Shimon, the tribe of Shimon, lost the greatest numbers of men since the previous counting at the beginning of Sefer Bamidbar. And Rashi here says it seems that all of those 24,000 who were killed were from Shevet Shimon. Do you get the hint? The tribe that sinned was Shevet Shimon. The people who were killed, all 24,000, were from Shevet Shimon. The leader of the sin was from Shevet Shimon. He took his tribe and they sinned and they were killed. So why in Parashat Balak does the Torah never say that it's Shevet Shimon? The Torah says Am Yisrael sinned with the daughters of Moab and Midian. Because as we know very well, Kol Yisrael arevim ze bazeh. All of Israel are responsible for one another. If one person, if one tribe from Bnei Israel is sinning, all of Am Yisrael is sinning. Never should we look at another person from Am Yisrael who is sinning and be condescending and be hateful towards him. He is sinning. Me? I'm a tzaddik, I'm perfect. It's the other guy who's sinning. If he's sinning, I am sinning. If he's sinning, we have a problem. It's not that my right hand cares about my left hand. It's that my right hand and my left hand are both part of the same entity. We are one organism. So if you are worried about someone else sinning, they are part of you. We are all one, and we have to deal with it in a caring way, not in a condescending, not in a hateful way. In our days, we see sometimes that there are people who are hateful towards other Jews who are sinning. That's not the way to go about it. We have a problem. What is our solution? That's a very difficult question. But the first step is to understand that it's a joint problem. We are all one facing this problem. Now you are going to ask me a very difficult question. But what we see that Pinchas did was violent, was zealous. Is that the way we should deal with it? Is that how Pinchas goes with all his love and caring and unity of Am Yisrael to be responsible for his brothers from Am Yisrael who are sinning? That's a very difficult, it's a legitimate question. It's a good question. It's a very difficult question. And it doesn't stem from what I'm saying now. Because in any case, if you think that today we should not be violent towards one another, what is the message that we are going to take from this zealous action, physically violent action of Pinchas? I'll say just one thing. It's too intricate to deal with it in a short Dvar Torah in a video. But I will say one thing. The Parashat Pinchas says that the act of Pinchas was bitocham, was within Bnei Israel. It wasn't against one part of Am Yisrael against the other. It was within Am Yisrael. When we argue, when we have to face one another in Am Yisrael, we can be very adamant, we can be very assertive, we can be emphatic, but it has to be bitocham, in Am Yisrael. Today, not physically violent. We can be critical. It cannot be condescending. It cannot be hateful. We are all one. When one person, when one tribe, when one group in Am Yisrael is sinning, we are all in that together. The Torah tells us the facts, hints to the details, but it is all part of one. Am Yisrael being one, that is the only way that we can constructively deal with it. And that comes from the love and unity and oneness of Am Yisrael. Shabbat Shalom.